Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I've got some more Terracards content for you today in the form of another challenge run. So the challenge run I'm going to be attempting today is called the Maximum Island Challenge. And the Maximum Island Challenge is simple. Each island has 16 slots on it for structures, crops, and things of the like. And before I'm able to expand and purchase another island and expand my footprint, I need to make sure all 16 slots on the island that I currently have are filled. Only then will I be able to permit myself to expand further. Interested to see what kind of decisions will need to be made, what kind of choices. Interested to see how this affects what cards I'm taking every 3 days. Obviously card quantity is going to kind of come into effect here. Now, how does it work with the structures and the production buildings and the synergies? We'll see, and we're going to find out here real soon. That being said, if you want to support a new channel, please like and subscribe, especially if you enjoy the content. I really appreciate you watching. Let's rock and roll. So on Act 1, Scene 1 here, we are going to find ourselves in a quandary, right? So our main deck does consist of 6 wheat, 4 cows, 4 water wells, and 2 small fences. Typically what you do is you put your wheat and your water wells down on your main island, and you expand right away and get a cow and a fence down, right? It might not be the most efficient option for us unless we go, of course, 6 wheat, 4 water, and then draw something else to share with the wheat island, maybe more wheat. We'll kind of see what happens, but we do want to make sure that we're obviously getting enough income to pay the bills and, keep the lights on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of see how this goes here. I'm going to get my 2 wheat and my water well down. Now, of course, the water well upkeep cost is going to be a pretty critical thing because just a few wheat early on it's not going to sell for much. So we're barely making enough, and we have to fill this island up before we're even able to expand and get something more lucrative down like cows. So we're gonna get another water well down, and I just kind of want to see how my hand shakes out here. We do have another 3 draw of water wells. We have 13 peanuts and we have 15 corn. Now 15 corn is tempting, but it's only 15. Keep in mind the space of an island is 16, of course. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go peanuts here, and I'm going to be paying close attention to how many cards of each stack I'm getting. Ideally you get one that's 16, and then you can just kind of reshuffle your hand a bit and fill out an island of a dedicated resource. Maybe things that are 15, 14 with a few water wells, or 12 in a water tank, stuff like that will be useful as well. But what I really want to try to avoid is an island full of just a bunch of random resources, because it's not going to really scale well, and it's not going to get you to further processing very well either. Now I do have an abundance of peanuts in my hand here, so I think the sensible move, especially to get the income to continue to flow in here, is to get the peanuts down, share an island with the wheat here. We're gonna end our turn, and then we're gonna go peanut, wheat, sell, and that is going to give us the freedom to expand. Now we do want to expand into, I believe, I think the most sensible thing here is to expand into cow, and namely peanut cow. So with that being said, I can structure my economy, at least my early economy, kind of around the peanut. So the fence itself is going to be a structure that takes up 9 spots, right? So we're gonna put that down in there, and we're gonna get our cows rolling. But in order to be able to expand further for something like a melter or something of that nature, we're gonna need to fill up this island. So I'm gonna get my cow in place here. We do definitely have a bunch more peanuts in our hand that we can hold on to. So we're safe to re-roll into our next hand and get our second peanut cow on the board. Now we do have to be careful because further processing, the peanuts to the crusher and the melter, so that's going to occupy 2 building slots. So we're gonna find ourselves potentially in a spot where we simply need to stall out or wait just to get more of the cards that we critically need, frankly, to just continue playing. So I'm gonna go 2 peanuts and a water well here. My plan is to get a melter or something of that nature close here, you know, like we'll kind of see how it goes. I mean, it's hard to predict exactly how this is gonna go. I guess that's the point of a challenge run. Play the game in a new way and just kind of see what you learn. So being unable to expand, I'm just gonna sit here and fill up this island with peanuts. We are going to be 1 item overall short there, but we do have plenty more peanuts in our hand. Could even go to a water well here. And they are just being generous with the peanuts, the game is. So I'm actually going to go, we're going to go water well. Well, let's go peanut here. Let's pop another island here as our expansion. And then go water well, which will help save our water issue, which is creeping. Get more peanuts on the board. So we did get a 16 draw of peanuts, so we'll be able to fill this island up, which is great. But it's going to become, the need is going to just continue to increase to get a melter and a crusher on this island right here. So hopefully the random number generation is favorable to us and we get the draw that we're looking for. Making good on peanuts right now though. None of this is really going to serve a use for us. We don't have space for a water cow. We could, however, continue filling this island out, draw into our small fence, and then go with a water cow to help offset some of the water issues. We're almost finding ourselves in a position where we need to solve the water problem first, and the water cow can certainly do that. But the most optimal place for the water cow is in this pen here with the peanut cows, but there's no space. So I'm gonna have to roll again. Do have the water chicken, but they take corn. Silo, sunflower. Do have the medium fence here. Not really gonna do much good right now. Popsicle, water cow. Popsicle does buff the peanut cow as well. We do get the crusher that we need. Well, we're essentially looking at a water issue right now. So I think what we have to do is we have to roll. Unfortunately, we just have to roll. We have to roll into something that, well, it's starting to get expensive now. So I'm going to take the crusher here, and we're just going to have to stave off the water problem. And thinking about the rules of the challenge here, so if we do have crop die off due to, say, no water, we need to fill in those places before we're able to continue to expand. So we'll see what happens. I think the worst that happens is we lose a few plants. We have plenty of peanuts to kind of help fill it in. So looking at the 20 stack of corn is just very tempting to grab. So is the 14 peanuts, but it's just not going to help us. 7 cows would be just tremendous right now. Here's 5 water wells. I don't love it, especially on an island with a crusher. But what we're going to be able to do now is we need a crusher and a melter to process the peanuts, right? So we can at least leave a spot open. It will hinder our ability to expand, of course. But this is going to allow us to at least fix our water problem. Get some benefit from stacking 3 water wells on the same island. And it's going to leave us space for an optimal melter spot. Corn costs no water. Popcorn for animals. Black water. I think I'll go with the popcorn. Given there will be, most likely be some animals in this build beyond what we just currently have with the peanut cows. And I'm a little far off from actually expanding further, so I'm gonna hold off. We do have a medium fence here, which is kind of tempting. We do have to get our fuel problem solved, meaning we're gonna have to get our melter in place. Yeah, we're gonna have to get our melter in place. Melter and the corn as well. That's an interesting. It's just too early to take it though, and I've re-rolled myself into being broke, but at least I've got enough time to make that back. So we're pretty much, I want to say, I mean, we're kind of stuck for the time being. We could get the fuel peanuts, but it's not gonna do. I mean, the fuel peanuts will be useful. Don't get me wrong. So we're gonna grab them. There's also the 3 watery trees here too, which is just clutch early on, especially. Let's take the fuel peanuts though. It is gonna go well on this space adjacent to our peanut cows. And what we're going to do is we're just gonna have to wait out until we get that melter. And then we need to play the melter immediately, of course. All the while hoping we can keep the lights on and the bills paid, alright? So we got the water chicken, no good. Corn would be a decent play. Fuel tank isn't gonna do us any good. Fuel wheat. I mean, we can look at like a popsicle. That's not really gonna do us much good either. It's just so expensive to re-roll. We can't keep re-rolling. So we're gonna go ahead and grab the, we'll actually grab the fuel wheat, and we'll see what kind of problems that creates. I mean, really, we're just in a holding pattern, awaiting our melter. Unless we just don't go with the melter. I mean, we could put the melter up one. It does have the range. I wasn't necessarily thinking about that. Meaning we could just take more peanuts here and just roll with it. So I think that's what I'll do. I think that's what I'll do. Maybe it's just a little too early for the melter. But we're going to go ahead and throw a fuel peanut here. We're going to expand. We could either expand down for the added fuel production bonus. Oh, never mind. So that just changes the resource that the cows use. Okay, I didn't fully understand that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try our luck at another island with the melter here. So this is one of the things that this challenge is going to force me into is I'm a guy I like to play this game kind of optimally, right? And this isn't going to allow me to do that. But we're staying alive so far. Fuel corn with the water cow. Watery tree. I think I'd be a fool not to take the watery tree, given the early game and all the crops we're trying to plant. It just creates the need for water production. So we're gonna go ahead and fill this up. We do need to save one spot for our melter on this island here. So let's get a water well down, and we're gonna save our fuel wheat to kind of get it a little closer to this wheat here. to see if we can get a mill in place in the future. Obviously need a lot of things to kind of come together here. Looking for that melter, looking for that mill. Melter is obviously the the top item that we need right now. Antenna. I mean, antenna isn't a terrible idea either. But we're gonna see if we can just roll into the melter. Could take more popsicles too. At the cost of this, the reroll function is getting very expensive. So right now we are crushing a lot of peanuts, and that's about it. That's about all we're doing. We've been entrusted this farm, and all we managed to do was crush some peanuts. Here we go. Here's our melter. This is big. It does cost fuel, and that's fine because we have the fuel. So now we just have to roll it. So another thing with not playing your cards, right, is you don't necessarily get the hand that you want. We have a lot of cards in our hand. Hopefully the game favors us to the point where we get that melter. Field grapes, paste bloom, rabbit apprentice. If two animals of the same group are on the same island, get a card of the cheapest animal of that group. I think that's probably our choice. We can get some good cows in place. We just need to kind of get there first. So I need to roll into that melter. I need to shuffle my hand into it. So let's see if we can get that, and we can start getting our first peanut butter production. We do get the melter here, which is great to see. We can do a silo. Doubles the water cost of wheats, but it doubles the production. So that is something we could do. We could also get another crusher to set up another island for peanut butter production. It might be a smart move as well. Water well, blue wheat, antenna. I mean, you are going to inevitably run into energy problems. So we could just pull the antenna in now, get an early head start on our energy. I'll do that. I don't think it's a bad move. So we will do that, and we will go ahead. Now we're able to expand a little bit further. So let me check. How much fuel wheat do we have here in our hand? We have 12. Okay, so 12 fuel wheat. We want to maximize peanuts or peanut cows right here. It's definitely what we want to do. So we're going to have to just end our turn there. We could start going with like a popsicle island down here as well. But these cows need to be in closer proximity to the crusher. So again, we're kind of stuck just rolling through our hand. Because too early expansion is going to force you to make inefficient choices. But we also got to get the production up to keep the tax collector rather, at bay. So we'll see. Giant sunflower, this is a one island building. We're not producing any energy though, so it's not really too useful right now. Carrots, engineer cow. I mean, we kind of have to just stop with the re-rolling. We do have more fuel peanuts, which is nice. Fuel corn does go very well with the melter too. So I'm going to take some fuel corn, which should, ultimately solve our peanut problem, or our fuel problems in the future. So we're going to go here. We're going to try to leave some space for that small fence that we still have in our hand. See if we can draw that. It'd be great to just draw that. Fuel wheat. Man, why'd I even take that fuel wheat, to be honest with you? We have the silo. More fuel wheat, another antenna. I think I will take another antenna. It's a pretty basic, non-invasive building. We just need that, we need that fence that's in our hand. It's a single card. Suppose we could go fuel wheat. Kind of like it, another island out here for it though. So let's see. The fuel corn will go into the melter, but then you're also going to... Oh, never mind. The fuel corn does not have the same buff that the regular corn does. So we can go ahead and fill this in here. It will still interact with the melter at that location. And really what we find ourselves in here is a challenging position in this playthrough where we're trying to just draw the right card. We have the card, it's in our hand, but we're trying to draw it. And that's of course if we even need to wait on the cow. I do like the idea of waiting on the cow, given that we've only got 4 more peanuts, and those are going to go the best with the crusher. So let's cross our fingers. The crusher, I do really like the idea of getting another crusher, given we have a melter in our hand. So we're going to do that because it's going to go well with our overall build here. Got that antenna for the first time since selecting that card. Still making $2 grand. We get that new crusher. But I am really focused on getting that pen in place. And I don't know that taking a bunch of numerous cards here is going to really help us. The crusher is a very important building. I've already got 2 in my hand though. Could go with more fuel corn. Given that most of our buildings take fuel to process the peanut. Man, we are just not getting that small fence, are we? Nah, just not getting it. It has not been favorable to us so far. Unreal. We'll take the mill. Maybe I just need to like scrap this whole idea. Maybe I need to just scrap this whole idea. I'm just sitting here not getting what I need. There are, crops on this island that will work with our build, so let's just fill out that island. Let's get our next kind of fuel wheat island down, our mill in place. We will need some water now, which we do have the watery trees in place. There's also these water chickens here. We don't have any basic corn though, unfortunately. So that's not really going to do much good for us. We'll roll out of that. We'll go into more fuel corn. Animals produce 2 times per turn. Home sweet home. This is vital. So let's get more cows on the board. So they're going to go to this crusher here. If I expand the cows downward here, I've got popsicles. I think that there's a lot we can do with put another crusher right here. It's not the most efficient in this current iteration, but we're gonna get there. So now we're finding ourselves at a point where we could do the crusher and the melter on the same island. Sure, we could do that. We kind of need to to fill it up, we're gonna go popsicles on this island as well. We're just gonna keep filling up those with cows. How many popsicles do we have on hand here? We have none. That was it. Okay. So we can go ahead and put the peanuts in place. We do have a water tank here, plus 20 production to crops. It's impossible not to take that. I just need to. So we could go with more fuel corn here. What are we kind of holding out for? I mean, obviously more popsicles would be nice to really boost the production of our cows, but fuel corn will kind of help us fill out this island nicely. The antenna, we don't really have need for energy yet. We do get our small fence, which is great, but we're not going to be able to play it because we have to fill out this island first, and there's just no feasible way to do that. So let's just go more fuel corn and watch our crop costs just inflate. This is not a great place for a water tree, but we need to put it there. So we can effectively fill out this island. We're gonna re-roll. Fuel wheat. Don't really need more fuel wheat, although we could use it and build out kind of a mill flour area. Otherwise, re-roll is 70. So we got the carrot, the black sheep, plus 30 production if no other sheep on the same island. We'll try out the black sheep. Can always just share a location with the cows. Alright, so we can get this in place here. That will allow us to expand. So we'll expand this way. Sell. End our turn there. Get our small fence down here. Get some more fuel corn in place. Don't know what I really want to do with that fuel wheat yet. Black sheep. Put the black sheep in place there. As long as it's the only sheep on that island, it's going to get that insane plus 30 bonus. So we're going to keep that working for us. We have another melter. Believe there's also another crusher in our hand, but what we really need is these medium fences here. So we're going to take that and we're going to just continue filling this out. 24 grand. It does sting a little bit. Just getting great fuel production, but that's because mostly everything that I've drawn so far is fuel based, right? So this also isn't a good spot for a water tree. The water tree is reliant upon the crops, right? But we almost need to do it out of necessity. And our turn there. So now we have the water tank. It is going to give, it gives us 50 water. So that's actually the saving grace that we need. So maybe a little quicker than I initially thought. We're going to have to get our fuel wheat island established. And it's going to all start with our water tank here to save our water production. More fuel peanuts, don't necessarily need those. We do have the cocoa tree, which does go well with our melter and our crusher. So we could do that. Although it does get a +3 production bonus if it's only cocoa trees on that island. So that's another thing you have to consider. Some of these more finicky cards that need their own location, like corn, like the cocoa tree, doesn't necessarily play well with this challenge. So I'm going to actually roll past that. Water cow. The water cow, I think we could find a use for the water cow. definitely. Without question, we'll find a use for that water cow. As far as our mill goes, I mean, we could put it here. The most ideal spot would be right here. So the question is, can we fill out this island before we run into trouble? And how much fuel wheat are we looking at? We have 4 more fuel wheats on hand, and there's 4 more slots here. We could do that and then save our water tank for a better location. It doesn't necessarily double down on wheat and flour. So I think we'll do that. We did get more popsicles here, but the central island to sort of maximize our cows is already filled up. We could go silo here, but we're gonna run into water trouble real quickly if we do that. Then the apple tree, it does go well with our cows. 16 carrots. I'm gonna roll again here. Could always use another melter. Could also start building out a corn island, but that's of course dependent upon us getting another roll of corn, which you can't really rely upon. Surprisingly, our water's hanging on for dear life, which is good. We have a small surplus. You like to see it? I'm tempted to just throw this fuel corn in here and call it good, although it won't really amount to anything. We have more fuel wheat. We have another water tank. We have 7 cows. We're definitely taking the 7 cows. And then hopefully I can get another fence of cows filled up here. We're just waiting on that one last spot. I suppose we could do an antenna there, but it's gonna have no value there at all. And it seems like tropical soil, that's a tempting one, but our water's already kind of out of control. Field grapes, grapes take no water. I think I'm just gonna skip. We're gonna throw our field corn right here. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna buy this island. And we're just gonna hope that we get the cow presence that we're looking for. Medium fence, we will go ahead and take that as well. And we're actually, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a medium fence now. I believe there's 2 of them in our hand. We just need it. It's almost a guaranteed loss if I put anything else but a fence here with just a bunch of peanut cows in it. Watery tree, yep, I'll take that without a question. Although I've had trouble finding an optimal spot for it, given the challenge that we're currently doing. Fuel hasn't been a problem loss for sure, my goodness. Let's go, medium fence, come on. Lake, lake's a tempting one to grab as well. Corn is also a tempting one, given we do have the popcorn buff. So we'll go with corn, but what we need is our fence. And the more stacks of, 12 cards, 16 cards, 20 cards, whatever you're adding to your hand, the more challenging it is to get the specific card that you need. Giant cow, there's an angle there for sure. If we go with 3 medium fences, does that, help ensure that we get a medium fence? I don't know. But we're just not getting it. We're just not getting what we need. I think we'll be okay for another turn or 2 here yet. Another tax session, another tax window, or whatever you want to call it. But we desperately need water tanks. I do love stacking up on water tanks. We desperately need the medium fence that we just got. So I'm going to go with the black sheep in there, and then we're going to go with 2 cows. And this island is considered occupied now, right? So I am able to buy another island, which I will do. And what I want to do is I want to get the corn going up here, because that's going to give popcorn. We'll get the water cow in place. Not the best spot in the world for it, but it does save our water for us. So we have the fuel corn. I just don't need fuel. I really don't need fuel. Water tree, apple tree, olive tree. Olive tree does go to the crusher, but then it needs a centrifuge. And that kind of seems like something that you're going to have to stall out big time on, given how large the building is. So let's just keep pumping these full of cows. Keep our production up. I mean, we are getting a cow card every turn because of that buff that we got, which is good. So we do have the water cow here. We could get another water cow here to help with our water cost. And now we're just waiting for more corn to fill out this island here. Start making that popcorn, feeding that to the animals, which in turn have a production boost. Fuel cow, giant carrot, olive tree. Fuel peanuts, nope. Fuel wheat. There's not necessarily a need for more fuel wheat. Silo, just regular wheat at 16. Sugarcane, that requires a juicer to make use of. We do have more crushers here. Got the cocoa tree. We got a transport tube here. I really want to use this. Takes all items produced in one island range and outputs them to structures within range. Can't get items from another transport tube. I mean, it's I just don't really know how to use it. I haven't really played around with it too much yet, so it's hard to commit to it at this early point in time. Well, I guess we're at day 100. Alright, we'll keep filling up corn here. Could just go water tank there to fill it up even quicker, but we do appear to be getting the corn given Peanut Fest. I mean, that's a no-brainer. We don't want to take a buff that reduces our hand size. That's not what we're looking for at all. So let's go ahead and just keep rolling, see if we can just keep getting this corn. I really would like the production boost that the corn gives, and then I think it's wise to maybe transition to another fence. In this challenge run, it kind of seems like you're just working against your own hand here. See, oftentimes you take the most useful card, but I've realized that you might have to start taking cards that are just lower in overall number so you get the cards that you actually chose. Could go water chicken here. We do have the corn, so let's go water chicken. If I absolutely need to, I can throw a water tree here. I don't really want to, but if I need to, we certainly could. We're starting to make some serious money now to keep this run alive. And I guess to help us continue to just whimsically shuffle our hand in search of that last piece of corn. More cows. Could go with more cows. Let's do it. They are really helping boost our peanut butter production. Really a peanut butter popcorn empire here, kind of. 33 grand a turn is a respectable number. The question is just, are we going to get what we need in the time that we need it? And I'm really holding out for our last piece of corn here. And we don't even have it. So that was a miscalculation on my part. My apologies there. So let's just add let's add a water tree here. It does kill the corn production, unfortunately. But this allows us to expand this way with our medium fence. Get more cows in place. And also fill up that tile. More water tree. We're doing fine. We have 2 in our hand. I don't think we really need a water tree. Does the apple tree work with peanut cows? It does. Okay. So an option is to start an island here with maybe more apple trees, get some popsicles, maybe extend a juicer off of it. That's definitely an option. What does it do? It's just +1 production. But if you add 7 of them, then it's +7 production, right? I don't necessarily love that, but it's something that we could do. Given we don't... Let's roll past it for now. I really do think that in the future, the apple tree is an option for sure. Giant cow, we have the blue wheat. We're gonna have to just make a choice here given the expense of everything. We are not even producing energy, so the giant sunflower isn't what we need. It's not the solution. More corn is the solution though, for sure. And that was a 17 stack of corn that I just grabbed there, so I think that's gonna really help us. Although we kind of do just lose out on our bonus altogether because this island isn't strictly corn. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and make... Well, let's think about this for a second. So if we go with... We have a melter right there. So if we go with an island here and just put a bunch of random stuff on it, like the antennas, you know, the water trees, that's certainly an option. It's certainly an option. I don't love this hand as it currently is to help kind of dictate my next expansion move. So I'm going to shuffle through this hand. So we do get some more corn now. And this is going to enable us to just pump another corn island here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to make this homogeneous. But I don't know if that's going to be possible given the luck we've had with the cards we're drawing. We'll see. I mean, Easter Bunny, we could just break the game right now with the Easter Bunny. I feel like it's kind of cheating, or at least kind of cheap. So I'm not going to do that, but just adding the Easter Bunny it's definitely an interesting thing. This gives +1 production to adjacent island crops. Produces 1 per animal in adjacent islands. You know, that's a play right there. I think that's interesting. So you could go with 1 here and 1 here, and then expand off of that. We're gonna try it. We're gonna try it. It's one of those new cards that was added in the game a few days ago. Might as well become familiar with them. I mean, we do have 2 full pens of animals for sure. So it might actually end up being kind of strong. We'll find out shortly enough. So being unable to expand into it right now though, we're gonna have to just end our turn there while we continue to fill out our corn island. I do have the option of throwing down the water tank. What are we looking at? I mean, there's tons of cards in our hand, 8 of which are corn, so the chances of getting a corn card are pretty high. And we don't get it at all. So I like the apple tree idea. Now the question is, how large is this structure? Okay. So it's only 4 spaces large. So I was thinking it was like a whole island. It at least appears to be that large, but it's not. So we're gonna just have to keep on trying to fill out this corn island. Now we're just starting to get random chickens as well. And if I have to, I mean, I guess we can go... So we can go corn, water tank. We could. Which will give us the flexibility to expand a little further. Throw a sheep in there. Get another cow. Get another cow. We are maxed out now. I mean, we could do that. We certainly could. Although I do think the water collector... So hear me out here. You go poop collector here, right? And then you go an island here of crops with a water collector. Or, sorry, a water tank. My guess is the production on that would be insane, and I kind of want to try it. Which means we're stuck just kind of re-rolling on this island here before we're able to really move on. But ideally, you know, what crop do we go with there? I mean, corn has its own innate boost to it, right? Do we just go with a bunch of these? I mean, we're gonna need energy for it. That's the thing. But I've got a crazy idea here. So we're gonna do it. And we are committing to a corn-centric island here. We just have to get the corn that's in our hand. Here's another one. That's good. Just need 2 more. Do have watery trees that could be put in place. But if we look at our overall income and the taxes that are due, I think we're okay. We're not going to be to the point where it's make or break for the game. I mean, it'll be getting there soon without question. But we're doing okay enough right now. 12 carrots, king crab. Got the bird's nest. Don't really want to mess with that. And carrots, melter, more watery trees. I've got a melter already. Olive tree, fuel tank, barn. Yeah, we'll go ahead and take the barn. Gluttonous feast, animal produces twice per turn. That's a no-brainer with an animal build. So where's our stuff here? I mean, we could throw down the antenna. We're gonna need the energy. It does disrupt the corn bonus. Hey, here we go. How about this? Look at this. We got both corn in the same draw, and that will just basically save this island here, making it not completely useless as far as production goes. So now we're able to expand again. And where do we expand to? So we do need to get our antennas down to make our poop collectors work. It wouldn't be bad to just kind of get... Like right here would be a decent spot for the antennas. So I'm gonna do it. It's not completely optimal, but it is optimal for the antennas. It really is. So we're gonna also put a water tree there to just help kill the water cost of the surrounding plants. And this is just kind of what I would deem just a random island, I think. I mean, there's not really much as far as just crops that we have. I do want to preserve the apple tree if I can. If we look at what we have though, And then this does animal in adjacent islands. Okay. +1 production to adjacent island crops. Okay. So we basically have found ourselves in the same kind of situation where we're trying to fill out another island with just random stuff before we can actually implement the build that I have envisioned. Transport to mill, sugarcane. I mean, none of this is particularly useful to us. Could go with another barn. Does work well with our build for sure. So we'll go ahead and do that. I mean, I don't like just burning our water trees like this. I really don't. But there's just not much else we can do. We've got to get this island filled up. I suppose like a water tank would do that, right? We have 3 of them. A water tank would get us there. It's a very suboptimal place for it. But it looks like it does boost the production of the water tree, which is great. That's good to know. Do note. And then the question becomes, what resource do we focus on for this poop collector build that I'm trying for here? Do have another antenna. We'll just grab that. We will throw the apple tree there. We're just focused on filling out this island now. Making some good income actually with what we currently have. Antenna comes at the nick of time. And there we go, we have another filled island. So now with our poop collector build, this is what I have in mind for this. So I don't know if there's a way we can get these are 2 medium fences, just brimming. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna place that down and we're just gonna kind of see what happens. Producing a whole lot of stuff, that's for sure. Sugarcane gets +5 production and +5 water cost per adjacent island. Plus cows in a 2 island range. So sugarcane, it's definitely the way to maximize. Yeah, sugarcane is the crop for sure, 100%. Alright, we're gonna pay this forward here. And I do have, so I've got 2 more of those. I'd ideally like 2 more, right there. We're not gonna get it there. And what do you know, the poop does sell, unbelievably enough. Fuel corn wolf, more cows, don't need that. We have the oven. I mean, there's not really a great way to work that into what we have. We can take just more sugarcane, which is absolutely what we should do. I want to see this build work. Let's get this island filled up here. Alright, there's our 3rd collector. We'll throw that down and we are almost there. Fuel infuser, black sheep, lake. Lake is just, it's a good card. Peanut gnome. Do we have any? I don't think we have any space anywhere though. And this does everything in a 2 island, +1 production, 2 crops in a 2 island range. +1 production. Wow. You have to take the peanut gnome. If you have peanuts at all on your farm, you have to. That buff is insane. I want to see how OP can I make one tile. You know what I mean? Like, how OP can we make it? We've got the jigsaw pieces in our hand. We just have to get them together in an orderly fashion to put it all together. I mean, we have $2 million. I think that this run is mostly secure. Frankly, we just have to kind of get there. So I'm looking for... I'll take more peanut gnomes all day for sure. So I'm looking for that last collector. We do have one. It's in our hand. There's going to be a turn where just all this comes together, right? Getting plenty of eggs. We'll go with weed expansion. We'll do that. Seems like a decent choice in a challenge run where you're trying to fill out islands. We'll go with more peanut gnomes. Again, they are part of the greater plan. Definitely looking forward to implementing the greater plan. I just need one card. Let's go, game. Come on. Be generous. Be generous, game. Come on. Gnome is just +1 to island range for every elixir produced on the farm. I'm currently producing no elixir, but I will take another peanut gnome. Not a problem. Come on, game. Where's my collector? Let's go. And then as you're sitting there re-rolling for things, what do you get? You add more and more cards to your deck, which lowers your chances more and more of getting what you need. We'll grab the medium fence. It's only one. That's the main reason why I grabbed it. So I'm really trying to make this build work for me here. We're just so close. We are so close to making this work. Well, if we grab another one, it'll increase our chances of drawing it, right? Hey, there we go. That was the kind of good juju that we needed for sure. Alright, so now we have our island of poop collection, right? So now what we want to do is we want to get an island of sugarcane here. Or do we do it here? We could do it either location. We'll do it here. And what this should do is it should have an insane bonus, especially because the sugarcane itself, so it gets +2 production and +2 water cost per cow in a 2 island range, right? So boom, boom. So it's getting a bonus there. And it's also getting +5 production and +5 water cost per adjacent island structures. So there's 4 of them just right here alone. And if we surround it with peanut gnomes, I think you kind of see what I'm getting at here. So just one sugarcane itself gives you 203. It also takes a whopping 77 water. So we could go with the water tree here to just completely eliminate the water threat. I think it's probably the smart move. And then we end our turn into more sugarcane. Just getting an insane amount, and it's not even optimized yet because I don't even have the water tank on the island yet either. So it'd be cool to get, I guess, more peanut gnomes for sure. When in doubt, If you have peanuts on your farm, just go peanut gnome. Trust me. So we're just getting a massive amount of sugarcane here. It's only worth 5 grand in its current form, though. There's our water tank. Excellent. We also... Nope, we don't have the medium fence in play yet. If we could find a juicer for our sugarcane, that would be ideal. I don't know if we'll get it. Game has not been super favorable to us. Never mind, I spoke too soon. Let's grab our juicer. And let's get our water tank in place here to further boost the production to an insane 229. And that's just with 1 or 4 structures adjacent to it, plus the structure that is on the island, but I believe the bonus is for adjacency only. Now what we can do is we can expand downward more with more sugarcane, put a juicer right here, or we could put in a peanut gnome fence right here, which will, it should send this to the moon. It should send the production on this island into uncharted territory. And I'm really interested and excited to see what it actually does. So that's the move I'm gonna make. This spot is, you know, technically occupied because it does have all 16 slots filled up. So what we'll do is we'll put a juicer right here, and we will make this the island that we're currently trying to fill up here. So to do that, I think I'm good. I'm just going to see... I want to see if we can get the peanut gnome in our hands or not. There's one right there. And then furthermore, I want to see exactly what it does to the overall production boost. More peanut gnomes, why not? So we have, what is it, 239? Yeah, 239. 246. Must be something that I'm not fully understanding. Thought it gave a boost to... Let me just read that again here real quick. +1 production, 2 crops in a 2 island range for every peanut butter produced on the farm. So we're producing like thousands of peanut butter. Know what I mean? That's what I don't understand. 953k. We'll pay that. Veganism, cow deluge, going wide. +40 to water cost. Water really isn't an object anymore. So this was the ultimate idea that I had. Then sugarcane, juicer, melter, centrifuge. Alright, so we need the centrifuge in here. Juicer, melter, centrifuge, juicer, melter, centrifuge. And then with dough, it gives you the fermentation. That doesn't seem like we're going to really be able to do that, but we can at least pump out some sugar, I'm sure. We do have a melter in our hand, is that correct? Yes, we do. It's just a matter of getting it. Okay. Well, let's just pause there. See if we can get that melter. Bird nest, biofuel generator. Could go with more medium fences. We're gonna go peanut gnomes all day right here. I mean, 280 sugarcane from one plant is pretty insane. You gotta admit that. And really, so a centrifuge will take up 8 slots here. Melter. So we do have room for 2 more. So now we're just going to hold off. And of course, get our gnomes in place. We have the mill that we drew, 120 turns ago that we haven't used yet. Imagine that. So I'm kind of on the search for a centrifuge, but I'd rather not, completely sink all the income that we have just to get it, right? So you can always just go more peanut gnomes in the interim. And just build an insane, 322 is crazy. We could put another fence here to further boost this as well. That's another angle you can take with it. Did get our other juicer, but that's just not what we need at all. Water cow, Easter bunny, oven, peanut gnome again, crusher, sugar cane, melter, peanut gnome, more sugar cane. We can take that. Centrifuge, where you at? Making 400 grand just screwing around here. Fun little challenge run for sure. As you're watching this back, what kind of choices would you have made? I wasn't really sure how it was gonna go. Obviously it's successful, right? It was hard to tell how it was gonna go initially though, because there's a few things that definitely could have happened early on in the run that could have really sunk us. So what I'm gonna do is I'm not holding out for a centrifuge anymore. We're just gonna go ahead and get this island filled up. Really love that new water tank. Water collector, water tank. Forget what the proper definition of it is. We could go with another. Well, no, that's not going to optimize the crop growth. Yep. So we want more crops there for sure. There's our melter that we finally got. So for now, our sugarcane island is full, of course. But it'll work. Yeah, it'll work still. Let's just put a water tree right there. More water tree, another water tank. Don't mind if I do. Like, props to the devs. The water tank, excellent card. Especially with how prevalent of an issue water can be at times. Water tank just comes right through and bails you out big time. Throw another water tree down there. Getting just insane production. I think there's a lot of opportunities with the collector as well. Let's see, how does an apple tree perform here? 129. That's one super apple tree for sure. So then what we can do now is we can go right here and just start dropping in peanut gnomes here too. Why not? I mean, this run's essentially going to win itself at this rate. More sugarcane, sure thing, you bet. Golden chance, sure. I like me some golden eggs. Water tank, you bet. Super apple tree, yeah, you bet. Although it's not that super. This one's more super. Get some sugar cane. Man, the past few runs I've done this game, I have invested in the sugar cane. And it really, with its new improvements and new perks, if you will, new buff, new property, however you want to look at it, it has certainly gotten better. Like, as in a viable powerhouse of a resource, right? I'm kind of impressed by the sugarcane. I mean, 144. Just getting a crazy amount. $50,000 peanut butter. That's insane. 201 sugarcane juice. That seems a little underwhelming. Is the gnome like changing the sugarcane production into peanut butter somehow or something? It's hard to say. The tooltip or the description of the peanut gnome doesn't really specify. It just says everything in a 2-island range changes production to peanut. Never mind. I see what's happening now. So yeah, they're changing this monster production. I totally misread that peanut gnome. They're changing this monster production into peanuts, which in turn is then being changed to peanut butter by the melter. Got it. Makes sense now. I mean, either way, whatever you're doing, gnome, you're definitely earning your upkeep on this farm. We're almost making $1 million a turn in a single turn, with just how broken this kind of synergy is with the sugarcane, the poop collector, the structures that we have in place, the water tanks, of course. I mean, you could really probably choose any resource that gets some kind of bonus. Like corn would probably be pretty insane with the peanut gnome combo. Isolated corn island somehow with peanut gnomes in place. That would be pretty insane as well. I think it'd all work out nicely. I mean, I think what the experimentation with the poop collector And of course the water tanks and just the peanut gnomes and just the stuff we've been doing late game here. I think it really shows you the potential of, you know, really some of the new buildings. I mean, 2 of the featured buildings here in this particularly broken build are, you know, new buildings that were added in the latest update. So 900,000 a turn. And really our money maker, it's, you know, it's this block of 12 islands right here. That's what's making us most of the money. So I think you can kind of start to realize how broken it actually is with, you know, 50,000 units of peanut butter a turn. But that's what you like to see. You don't play Terracards for underwhelming production. You play Terracards to try to break it as much as you possibly can, right? 63,000 units of peanut butter now. Yeah, I don't know how I missed that before, where the gnomes themselves. 1 million, there we go. $956. Making more money than we know what to do with here. 1,036,000, including 66,000 peanut butter. Just wonderful. Sure hope you like peanut butter, because it's all produced this one farm here. So I dare say, folks, that this build works. We managed to win the maximum island challenge, where we weren't able to advance and purchase additional real estate without, of course, first filling up our island. So that's gonna be turn 200 here. Now we finally get elite cows. So that'll be turn 200 here, and that will complete the challenge run. Obviously it was a resounding success. This video is already long enough, so let's end it here. If you enjoyed the content though, please give a like and subscribe. Give me a comment, you know, let me know how I'm doing. Let me know what you would have done differently. Let me know how you think I could have optimized this a little bit better, especially with the challenge restrictions in place. And of course, thanks for stopping in, thanks for viewing, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks.